Gay, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules on bullying and harassment?
The rules around bullying and harassment are quite specific, and if the context in which that language is used amounts to bullying and harassment, then we take action against it.
Can you say yes to that question of does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules on bullying and harassment?
Calling for the genocide of Jews is anti-Semitic.
So yes.
And that is anti-Semitic speech. And as I've said,
and it's
when
a yes.
Speech crosses into conduct.
And it's a yes. I've asked the witnesses.
When speech crosses into conduct, we take action.
So is that a yes? Is that a yes? The witness hasn't answered. Madam Chair, is that a yes? You cannot answer the question.
Crosses into conduct.
I'm sorry.
We take action.
I'm sorry.
Dr. Kornbluth, yes. At MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no? Calling for the genocide of Jews does not constitute bullying and harassment?
I have not heard calling for the genocide for Jews on our campus.
But you've heard chants for intifada.
I've heard chants, which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context, when calling for the elimination of the Jewish people.
So those would not be according to the MIT's code of conduct or rules?
That would be investigated as harassment if pervasive and severe.
Ms. McGill, at Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
If the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
I am asking specifically calling for the genocide of Jews. Does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context. That is not bullying or harassment. This is the easiest question to answer yes, Ms. McGill. So is your testimony that you will not answer yes?
If the
yes or no?
If the speech becomes conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
Conduct meaning committing the act of genocide? The speech is not harassment? This is unacceptable, Ms. McGill. I'm going to give you one more opportunity for the world to see your answer. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's code of conduct when it comes to bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be harassment.
The answer is yes. And Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual, targeted at an individual.
It's targeted at Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric.
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric, when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
So I wanted to show that part of the questioning for Claudine and the two other ladies, one from MIT, one from Penn, and that woman is a demon, and she wanted them to give an answer that she is satisfied with, not an answer that falls under the rules of conduct. These women gave her the answer for the Academy's rules of conduct, not what she wants to effing hear. She wanted them to bow down and cry and weep and says, yes, calling for the G side of these ish people. Yes, we're going to throw anybody who even slightly could be protesting Israel is basically what it is, because nobody is throwing up a Hail Hitler sign. Nobody has swastikas. Nobody is doing anything to anyone, because people do not support them in their aggression towards a group of people that they've had in an open air prison and controlling their lives. They want everyone to be on board with Zionism. Everyone, not even other ish people, are on board with Zionism. So this is what pisses them off. They want to play the victim while being a victimizer. They want everyone to say what they want to hear. They want everyone to bow down to them. It just makes you think, who in the do they think they are? They are on this high horse right now. They want people to coddle them and be there for them like in the past. It's this thing with Judeo-Christians who support this because they feel like their colorless Jesus is going to come back and sweep them away in the rapture when everything happens at Megiddo. This is why they support them, because they're delusional. And these people like Benjamin Malachowski, now Benjamin Netanyahu, they are trying to cleanse the area so it can be just them. They do not acknowledge other ish people who have melanin in their skin, which that's a whole different conversation that I can get into. But I'm going to stick to this topic. She was actually violating the academic institution of bullying, harassment, because that's what she was doing to these three women. But her venom was especially toward Dr. Claudine Gay. She had a special venom for her because she would not bend and she would not say what she wanted her to say. She did not say yes. She told her what the rules of conduct was. When people are out protesting, there has been no protesting saying, let's go get these people, round them up and do something to them. Because in their mind, when the Palestinian people say, we will be free, and then you know the rest, that means one thing in their mind, because you have to see it from their point of view. They want to cleanse out everyone that is not colorless like them. So when you have someone who is willing to fight back or push back on what they're doing, then what that means to them, the only thing that they're hearing in their mind is, okay, so since we want to get rid of all of you, if you're saying that you're going to be free and you're going to flourish and thrive in their sick mind because of the condition of their heart, if they even have one, these humanoids, they take that as, oh, these people want to do exactly what we want to do to them, and that's eliminate us. You have to understand when you're dealing with a person with a sick mind, not a mental issue, but a sick mind. And that's what this was. This was bullying. This was harassment. And to see this from a official within the government is disgusting. I don't see how America is not ashamed of itself. This specifically was shameful. And everybody who is championing her Stefanik, they are going to have the ultimate day that they deserve. But I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.